the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show,
presented by Lake Urgent Care
on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
From the Jamborees to the Superdome,
your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Welcome in to another season of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, Ryan Kennedy, Casey Gaines, and Skip, our cast of thousands tonight, and we appreciate everyone tuning in on this Jamboree edition of the show. We'll have a chance to give you final scores from all the capital city area Jamborees, whether it was Thursday night or tonight. And if you're looking for a score from anywhere else in the state, our scrolling ticker, if you're watching us on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, the scrolling ticker on the bottom of the screen will have a complete scoreboard from all around the state. And then next week, week 1, we'll kick everything off, joining our audience on Your View for yet another season. Very happy to have the team of Your View partnered with us again. So another place for you to catch Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. But as we get into the opening segment for this season, let's debut another segment. This new segment called Opening Drive.
taking you through tonight's top stories. This is Opening Drive on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
So the headline, as we talked about a little bit on Prep Weekly on Wednesday night, was going to be the heat. You know, I mentioned I wanted to bring that up. Todd, you brought up the bubble, and at some point we'll get that video of how coaches are kind of keeping up. It's like a collection of data that gives you one number that you got to watch for, right? Basically, when you're out in practice.
It is, and usually the athletic trainers are on top of it. And I mispronounced Scott's name the other day, so I'm glad you brought that up. So it's Scott Arsenault at Santa Maria. Does a really good job. He's part of the Corey Stringer board, but you know he leads the state in helping teach trainers how to follow and be heat prepared. Mm-hmm. And it's important, man. I'm telling you, when you're out there and Jimmy knows, and when you're out there and these kids start overheating, I mean, anything medical, you're just helpless. You just don't – it's out of your control, and you just don't ever want that to happen.
And Baton Rouge Orthopedic does a great job of supplying some of these people who do not have athletic trainers. They try their best to accommodate them as much as they can, and Deanna does a great job over there also.
And for all the benefits, and trust me, there's plenty of benefits of area schools now having turf fields. One of the negatives is the heat coming off of those fields. I mean, it's hot. And so on top of everything else, having a good trainer, having a good staff that is aware of what's going on at all times is key. When it comes to the Jamborees, it's kind of a storyline we bring up every year, but I kind of look at it when I'd love to get your thoughts from a coach's perspective. When I watch the Saints on Sunday in a preseason game, it doesn't matter to me if they win or lose, but can the second string quarterback convert a third and 2? Can they convert on 3rd and 8? If it's 2 minutes left in the game, be it at the end of the game or the end of a half, can they get down the field and execute a kick? Is the punt team ready, or is one or two players lagging behind and then you got a penalty? Like all these things that you know are going to come back to really hurt you. If they hurt you in the Jamboree, fine, you can live to play another day. If they hurt you in week 1 or week 2, now there's problems. But what are the key takeaways you guys look for?
I always have a list. The first one and the main one is obviously stay healthy.
Right.
That one speaks for itself. You want to see your kids compete against a team in a different uniform that you hadn't, you've been beating up on yourself for a month. It's time to see somebody else. I think it helps settle some position battles. I think I saw that tonight. I'm not going to speak for the coach, but I think I saw a player who was in a competition for a battle win the job tonight, more than likely. It's the first time you see teams live in special teams, and we saw that tonight. U-High gets the opening drive, goes straight down the field, execution perfect. It's a great mix of run, pass. Garrett Graves led that drive. Phenomenal drive. They kick off to Dunham. Dunham runs it straight back. That's the first time their team been on the field. and you see it all the time. So you see that live. It's the first time the coaches aren't on the field, so you got to make sure your personnel groups and your plays are right when they call for different personnel groups, whether it's 2 tight ends or 4 wides or 2 running backs or 1 running back. You got to get the play in on time. You have sudden changes, and it's by sudden change, it usually comes after a turnover, but you take U-High's offense, they go straight down the field and score. They think they got a little break because they're going to kick off and defense is going to be on the field where Dunham runs it right back. Well, now that's a sudden change.
Mm-hmm.
U-High's offense is right back on the field. Dunham's defense is right back on the field. Those things, substitutions, and I think you mentioned it, Cade, seeing what you guys can do. And I think every team has a different set of goals in a jamboree.
Yeah.
And I think you have to take care of what you need to do, and don't worry about the win or loss. Now, some schools would say you have a first-year coach that has a history of taking over a losing program. It's important for them to go win that game, get a little momentum.
Who was it that beat Catholic High in the Jamboree a couple seasons ago, or was it last year? Was it?
Well, they played Dunham right to the final play.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. A very tight game.
I think St. Michael's beat them a few years back, but
you get a new coaching staff, or you get a little momentum going.
Yeah. So if you don't have an established program, now if you're a Zachary or you're Catholic High or even Dunham tonight, I talked with Coach Weiner after the game. They lost 41-21. They were up 21-14 at halftime. He was completely satisfied with what went on tonight. They got out of it what they needed to get out of it. I think that's important.
I know I'm learning from a coaching standpoint is that Jimmy and I were talking last night is, usually you have a set of backups and then you have twos, and the purpose being is you need to be more organized, and you can find out as a coach where you need to be more organized in certain points and then others. And what I'll talk about the substitutions is a lot of times the first string defensive line is your backups for your first string offensive line. Well, when you're trying to get twos in and you're trying to get players in, you don't necessarily want those guys back in. So you need the twos so you can get them to more playing time. And that's something that we talked about last night, but I think it's little things like that that really this particular setting helps the coach out too.
Well, what about the difference in practice? You're getting a couple of reps. In a scrimmage, maybe you're working on a drive, situational football. And in a jamboree, you're trying to simulate as much as you can of a game. And you got, whether it's a 1A or 2A school and guys playing both ways in the heat, or guys that hadn't played a full half, linemen sitting there trying to grind it out. I mean, I'm sure that's part of it too.
I'll tell you what the heat does to you as a coach. I had a manager walk up to me the other day and said, Coach, a player wanted me to tell you it was 5:53. I said, do what? And if it wasn't the way it is today, I'd have ran their butt until they would have thrown up. But I'm too, nervous about it. But I tell you what, they won't ever tell me what time it is again, because they probably heard stuff that they but I think
you're punching the clock.
Oh my God. I'm like the point being is
I got a time card system, Coach.
The actual playing of the game is totally different. Even in a scrimmage, you go 15 plays long, maybe. Jamboree is more there. You really just don't know what kind of shape you're in until you get through 4 quarters.
And most of the teams, we talked about it Wednesday night, they're practicing in the morning, they're practicing inside, so to be put out in the heat. And we actually, around here, got a little break tonight with some good cloud coverage. It wasn't terribly hot like
just
it
102
been.
or something like that.
Yeah, just 100 instead of 110 or something.
I think a cold front's coming through next week,
yeah.
Kate.
Well, speaking.
And then also, I'm going to tell you one thing, and I know when Travis was at LSU, one of the things that he would talk about, and Coach Moffitt would talk about, it doesn't matter how much you try to duplicate the speed of the game in practice, you can't do it. You go look at the GPS numbers when they're going wide open in practice, and then they're going wide open in a game, they're not even close.
Yeah. Speaking of the change in temperature, so there was a little bit of rain yesterday. Yes, actually yesterday afternoon, and there were scrimmages.
What that was falling out of the sky?
I was confused.
Some foreign substance.
I hadn't seen it in quite a while, and I know your lawn reflects it. Coach, you were able to catch some Jamboree action yesterday, and Jimmy saw some today. So early early thoughts, what stood out, whether it be a team, a play you saw, a player you saw, a new coach. What stood out for you on Thursday?
I watched East Ascension in Dutchtown. East Ascension goes down the field, and there were a couple third downs. Dutchtown did not get off the field. They score. Dutchtown runs it back. So it's 7 for 7. But I know all eyes were anticipating what they would see at quarterback was Dutchtown. And Ethan Oakwood went 11 for 11, 109 yards, 2 rushes, 60 yards, and a touchdown. And making a lot of right reads. And I know that really excited the Dutchtown coaching staff because he did what a good quarterback would do, and that's taking what the defense gave him.
So it's the second time I've heard you guys mention that a team went down the field and right after that returns a kick. Is that one of the things that's just really hard to replicate in a practice? You get in the game, you're talking about speed, that kind of thing, like until you see it and you get reps like that? I don't know.
I don't know of any coach, and there probably are some, but I personally don't know of any coaches who do special teams live, kickoffs and punts. Yeah. They'll go make contact, thud, whatever you want to call it. They'll make contact, but they never do it full speed, wide open. So the first time you're seeing that is a jamboree. Is a jamboree. That's right. Even in the scrimmages, it's not live. And that's an interesting game for Ethan to have like that because they've been in a quarterback battle. It's very close. It could have went either way. It still could go either way, depending on how they play throughout the year. But one thing that Coach Mastretta chose to do, I thought going in, and I did not talk to him before, but I thought maybe he would split either series or 2 series and then rotate them or play one a half and another half. But he chose to let Ethan play the whole varsity game and the other one play the whole JV game to get him the max reps that he could.
Yeah, Dylan Champagne, I say Champagne. People in Hanville, whatever. But no, he's great. They got 2 good quarterbacks right there, and it's the one that just really Ethan looks night and day last year to this year in the pocket. And as a quarterback, it's huge to get some games under your belt and not under pressure, just try to get out of there. You got to trust your offensive line. And so he's done a good job of that in the offseason. And Dylan played a lot of the JV games, but they're both ready and they're going to both be able to, because, of course, Dutchtown's got great skill guys, so they're going to be tough. They've just got to play consistent and find an identity. I just think that their identity's been run with no ability to pass the last several years. This year might be a little bit different, and if it is, it's going to make them more tough to defend.
And for you, Jimmy, from your chance to go, you're out at Parkview tonight.
I went out at Parkview, watched U High and Dunham play. I thought I was going to get to see a little bit of Catholic and Madison Prep. That game was pushed back to a little after 8:30 before they got started, so I headed to the studio. But really good game, I thought. Final score was 41-21. U High pulled away, but it was back and forth. U High, like I said earlier, drove down the field to start the game. Great mixture, great play calling with Aaron Weiss, mixing the run and the pass. Dunham returned the kickoff for a touchdown. U High had a 3-and-out. Dunham comes back in, had a 70-yard drive, goes up 14-6. U High comes right back, goes down the field. And so 21-14, Dunham answers one more time with a 52-yard pass.
Elijah Haven,
a ninth grader, and I'm telling you, he's about 6'4", 6'5", about Todd, I'm going to guess 180, 190 pounds.
He might be 120 soaking wet.
No, because he's so tall, he looks skinny, but man, wow, he was impressive. And Coach Weiner chose to go with him in the first quarter. They've had a competition, a battle for the starting job with him and another kid throughout the spring, the scrimmages, the 7-on-7, and from what I was told, it was what and what. So he wanted one to play one half and one to play the second half. And Elijah just really, man, it'd be hard not to roll him out there and say, hey, it's yours, because he was phenomenal. But in the second half.
You said something that was interesting, though. Elijah's got that varsity experience.
From basketball. Yeah. And he played a little bit last year as an eighth grader. If I'm not mistaken, he was the MVP in the district as an 8th grader in basketball.
He can play basketball.
I mean, he's a player.
He can't stop my fade, but he can play pretty good.
but the second half, it was all U-High. Dunham never could get any momentum going. U-High lived on the short field, starting on the plus 35, the plus 39, the plus 40-something. It was just, when it's kind of snowballed, it snowballed. And then Coach Weiss, and to their credit, they found out that they could run straight at them, and that's what they did.
Garrett Graves is a hard worker, great quarterback for U-High. Also got the other kid that just transferred, but nobody's going to outwork you, man. And Jimmy talked about how well that first drive is, and hopefully he'll have continued success and just stay, steady and do what they need to do. But Cage, you know what I learned tonight? When did Twitter change their name? I was looking for Twitter, and I mean, there's no Twitter, but there's an X there.
Yeah, I think that was Ryan may know. He's hip to new things. Like 2 weeks ago, they changed it. He's off Twitter. Well, Elon changed the logo first as X, but it's still Twitter.com, I believe. So I don't know. It's a little confusing.
Idea. I went and looked on there one day and it was gone. I'm like, oh well, it's gone. Poof. Then I found it.
By the way, before we go to break, when we come back, we will have an update on Capital City scores from Jamboree night. But a special thank you to Lake Urgent Care, who is the title sponsor once again for this show. A shout out to them. It was probably right before the summer. I come down with what I thought was the flu, wound up being in COVID, but I had gone to their new facility off of Drusilla, which is very nice, right across the street from the old one. Tons of room, and I'll compliment this because I don't know if enough places get this kind of or give you this kind of care. Everyone from the person that you talk to at the front desk, which look, you get people coming in there not feeling good, maybe they're just not having a good day, but everyone treated you super nice from the first person you met to the doctor on call that day, and that's kind of across the board in any of the Lake Urgent Care places you visit. Brand new facility, like I said, over there in Drusilla, but they got plenty of locations you can stop by if you need that walk-in care for maybe a minor injury, minor illness, or you want to get checked out, you think you got the flu, they can take care of that too. But I really appreciate them being back on board here for Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
They've been with us from day one, I believe.
And I know they helped out
first year
with physicals as well for high school players at a very reasonable price. So they're very involved in the community doing the right thing.
We'll take a timeout. Skip has Baton Rouge area scores when we return. This is Louisiana Prep Scoreboard presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come on, in Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down to
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scoocha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Terrier, the Tiger, and the Wildcat. Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy, and that's what the liners said, the Terrier, the Tiger, and the Wildcat. It makes sense if you know the background from a prep standpoint. And the Eagle will get our scores here from the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care.
19-6. Episcopal over Catholic Point Capri, 15-14. Ascension Catholic 18. St. Michael 16. Plaquemine 20-14. Winner over Port Allen. Ascension Episcopal shuts out Thrive 29-0. Dutchtown over East Ascension 20-7. Ascension Christian 18. Central Private 8. Parkview 29. Franklinton 13. Southern Labs shuts out A-Meet 6-0. Kentwood over St. Helena 20-8. White Castle 8-6 winner over Donaldsonville. Walker 16-0 over Denham Springs. Central 10-0 shutout over Bruley. Destrehan blanks Lutcher 7-0. U-High over Dunham 42-21. Santa Maria shuts out Assumption 35-0. And Catholic High 7, Madison Prep 6.
Thank you, Skip. We'll have more scores throughout the night from the Baton Rouge area. For a complete list of scores from around the state here on this Jamboree night or Jamboree weekend, if you're watching on YouTube, the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel will have that scrolling ticker on the bottom of the screen for a complete list of games tonight. We now go ahead and jump on the hotline, and we are joined, our first guest of the 2023 season, UI head football coach Andy Martin joining us. Coach, congratulations on your first stop here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. I was going to say a victory, but I don't have a score in front of me. My apologies. If you did win, then congratulations. But I guess most importantly, I want to know, did you get out of the Jamboree what you hoped for?
Yeah, we did. I thought we started out really slow, but we did. Looking at, can't wait to get back in the film and start looking at some of that stuff. But I think for the most part, we got what we wanted out of it. But again, I appreciate y'all having me as the first guest too.
Hey, Coach, Jimmy and I are wearing on Cade. Last year it was week 13 before he started drinking. This year it's already happening.
He's starting in the preseason.
You can't do it all day unless you start early in the morning, Coach.
Hey, it's all good.
Oh, boy. Coach, quarterback battle obviously going on over there. Emil Picarella transfers in from Madison, Mississippi, and you got Garrett Graves, the senior. Garrett got the first snap tonight. Emil was ruled eligible. You just found that out sometime after lunch today, from what I understand. Just give me, not necessarily what you're going to do, but just give me your thoughts on both guys.
I thought both of them did a really good job tonight. I mean, started out with Garrett, had a great drive starting out, and then Emil had a couple great throws, stepping up in the pocket. Both of them's understanding the offense is really high. But both have good football IQs, and I think both of them, the good thing is both of them understand they're competing with one another, and it's not one doesn't like the other one. They get along, and that's a big part, especially when you have a competition at the quarterback spot, And so both those guys are just, it's going to take both of them to get where we want to be, and so I'm glad we got two good ones.
Let me ask you this: you talked about Emil stepping up in the pocket. Let's talk about your offensive line. I know probably didn't, I saw a little bit of it against St. Charles Catholic, and they're good, by the way. But did your offensive line improve like you'd have liked tonight? They did.
I thought they kept our pocket pretty clean and allowed for our quarterbacks to sit back there and not take too many hits. For them, last year they were all starters as sophomores. Now they're all kind of growing up and now juniors, and you just see they've gotten so much bigger and the understanding of the offense a little bit better, and just having that whole year to play last year, you're seeing pay dividends this year.
You talk about have gotten bigger, but Lamar Brown, which is, by the way, about 6'5", I have him listed at 265. He looks like he has really, I guess he's losing baby fat because he is a baby still, but he's leaned up a lot.
He has. He's moving very well. He's leaned up a little bit, and some of that was, just some of the excess weight he had on him. But he's pretty slim. He's doing a good job both offensively and defensively for us.
Larry Beacham. Is that how you say it?
Harry
Beacham.
Harry Beacham, yeah.
One of the most underrated players, not just in Baton Rouge, but in the state. A two-time All-State linebacker. The kid makes tackles all over the field.
He's gotten a step faster since last year, and he's on pace right now. If he keeps doing what he's doing and can stay healthy, he'll set the career tackling record that actually Jaden Osprey broke last year. So he's on pace to do that this year. But he's a very underrated kid. He's committed to go play at Navy, which I'm excited for, and he does everything we ask him to do.
What's his size?
About 6'1", 220.
That's a good size. I mean, because we've always wondered, we thought that, because of, I'm sorry, you just named him, but that he kind of was overshadowed.
Jaden
Osbury,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And, but, he's really outstanding player. Talk a little bit more about holes you had to fill on your defense.
We had to fill in a couple of defensive linemen, which, again, that's typically what we have to do. We typically have DNs that have to come in. We rotate a lot of guys in, which we were able to do tonight, and kind of see who can play roles for us. We obviously had to replace Jaden. Jaden was a huge part of our defense, and so we had to make sure that we replaced him. And I think we got a couple guys that are doing that. And one of them, Alec Haynes, who played in our D-line last year, we kind of backed him up and put him at linebacker, and I think he's getting better. And so between those guys, that was the main holes. A lot of our defensive backs came back to play again this year, a year older, which is great for us.
So without probably having the opportunity to look at any film, just going by what you saw at the game, what will be one of your focuses to improve on next week before I think you play Thursday at, is it at Woodlawn or you host Woodlawn? Yeah.
We're going to host Woodlawn. Okay. I think for us, the biggest thing is little things. I told our guys before, it's just there's so many little things we got to get better with, and I think that's what we're going to continue to focus on, whether it's special teams and getting out of your lane a little bit, and that allows them to run a kick back, or if it's we're 3 and out and we bring the guy to the ground and they throw a flag and now they get a first down, which was their second scoring drive. We're 3 and out on them and they get a 15-yard penalty on us, or jumping off sides. Those little things, those undisciplined little things that can lose a game for you, and I think that's what we're going to be harping on a lot.
Coach, I want to just ask you, because I had the opportunity to work with your son this summer, and also Larry Musgrove. How did they get in and get some action and do well for you tonight?
Yeah, Musgrove did. I think he caught a couple passes for us. He's rotating out at wide receiver. Williams actually our holder. on the field goal team. So he was doing that. So yeah, they did get a little bit of action.
That's always good, huh?
Yeah, it's always fun.
Now he's got to get G in the game.
Right.
There you go. Get G Rush in there.
Hey,
We'll see if we can do.
If you feel somebody throwing stuff from the stands, it's Gordy. I promise you. He does that kind of stuff. That's how he rolls.
Well, Coach,
I'll have to watch out for that.
Yeah.
we appreciate your time tonight. Look forward to some conversations this season. Best of luck.
All right, thank y'all for y'all do. Really appreciate it.
Coach Andy Martin from U-High. You know, you mentioned Musgrove. I have to give a shout-out to Chuck and the team at Roto-Rooter. Had a situation at the house. Wasn't quite sure if it was a city problem, if it was a me problem. And he had someone out there within a couple hours, and we were able to find out it was actually something the city had to work on, but I just wanted that peace of mind. And the kind of customer service you get from that team is always really good. So I want to make sure they know how important it is.
And Marla, my wife, works in the Coach Electric. She helped Kate out a little bit there, but also talking about sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Hill calls today. Hey, is Marla still at the Coach Electric? Yep. Calls her up. Everything's taken care of. So the Coach Electric's another longtime sponsor out there. I know my wife will be going to Coconut Willis tomorrow. She'll be hanging out there, or not hanging out, but she'll be going.
Couple of tiki mans?
Might get a tiki man.
I thought you were going to tell me you put down turf, and she was asking you about Louisiana turf cleaning.
Jimmy doesn't have to cut the grass anymore.
But
he does have to call LA turf cleaning.
That's
That
right.
would make perfect sense. We'll take a timeout. We'll get you more scores and more coaches to talk to in this Jamboree edition of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you.
This is Coach Brandon Brown, the head football coach and athletic director at East St. John High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Kate Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. Reminder, next Friday night, week 1 of the show, we'll have Catholic High football. Well, back up a little bit. We'll have Louisiana Prep preview starting at 6 o'clock, and then Catholic High football to follow, and then a full edition of week 1 for Louisiana Prep Scoreboard will be on the radio, will be on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, and will be on Your View for another season, following their game of the week. So glad to be back and partnered with Your View again for another season. Excited for Jeff and them and their call they'll have for each game of the week, and continued support. Continue to try to get the show out to as many places for as many people who can tune in and watch, and hear some highlights of some of their family members throughout the week.
You know, we were just told we're trying to get Coach.
Yeah, working on getting Coach Edwards.
Yeah, we're fixing to get him.
Yep.
Okay.
And so, you know, one of the things he's been trying to do is, he's had a really challenging task to go over to Istrouma, and a lot of adversity over there, but they were winners tonight in Jamboree. We're hearing over Scotlandville 8-0. And, you know, one of the things, it's one of our sponsors, Total Diamond Performance. They're baseball, how am I going to say it? They're a baseball facility, but understands the importance of playing multiple sports. And, you know, we look for teams in football that have that same, you know, mentality, toughness, really overcome adversity. Mm-hmm. And Istrouma definitely fits that tonight.
Yeah, it was the score we had reported was an 8-0 score over Scotlandville. So we talked about in the first segment, what do you want to get out of a Jamboree, and does it really matter wins and losses? But for a team that he's trying to put together, I think that's a big deal.
No, it is, no doubt.
That's what we talked about. He's in a totally different situation than what some teams are. Mm-hmm. So this win does go a long way. Because, look, let's be honest. He walked into a situation that's not ideal.
Right.
You know, and he had to sell himself.
But you guys know, you guys know him pretty well. Who better to be in that spot because of what he does and how much he goes beyond the field and the X's and O's. He does try to work on being the guy that can kind of, you know, mold these young men. I always feel like he's the one that kind of embraces these kind of challenges.
Right. He's helped so many people, mm-hmm. and those people don't forget. And when he needs help, they're right there for him. You know, and I think that's the huge part of his outreach in the community. People are going to support Coach Sid and help him because he knows how valuable he was to their life. So he wants them to be able to do the same for others.
You've had schools when you think about this. You go there, mm-hmm. There's no equipment.
Yeah,
he goes in there. He gets other teams have sent him cleats.
We had a team and have a little fundraiser.
Had a fundraiser. Yeah. Other teams have sent him cleats, helmets, different type of things, so the community has really around it. Coach Sid.
Hey, I got you.
There you go. All right, man. Hey, you got your win over there?
Hey, man. The 70805.
The reservation.
The reservation. That's right. Coach,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Coach, man, first off, just real proud of it when we heard that when we were talking about the needs of people in the jamborees and how every team has different goals. And I think for you to be able to go to Scotlandville and come out with a win against a really good team is something that is really big for your program, because we were talking right before you went on air. You went to a tough place to take over, and they had to buy in. You don't necessarily know any of those people in that community anymore, and you walk in there, and their first thought is, why am I going to believe this guy? And now, with everything you've been doing up until this point, and then you go get a win over there, I think that's huge for your program.
I can't. Huge. It was gigantic, and just like when the buses pulled in, the neighborhood was here. The neighborhood is looking for something. I mean, there's no bowling alley, golf course, movie theater in this area, man. They don't have much, and I'm just so happy for them.
How important is, because, you know, the fundraising and the things that you've done for Istrouma and the people you have touched over the years know the value of you to kids, and they support you to help you be able to do some of the things that you do. Give you the opportunity just to tell our listeners how much those guys mean to you.
I mean, I'm forever grateful to all those people. Everyone who gave $5 to, you know, Ryan Jumonville, you know, one of the former players at Catholic, bought our uniforms, you know, and but it was there's no way I could mention everyone who's helped us out.
Right.
I mean, we still have many needs, but the kids feel good. They look good. You know, their new helmets. I mean, the people who are feeding them, it goes such a long way. And it's just a huge debt of gratitude to those people that are helping our kids here in you know, North Baton Rouge.
Coach, your offensive line, you have 4 guys that are at least 300 pounds. And then I want you to talk about those guys. And then one of your leaders is a guy that's about 5'2" to 5'4", somewhere up in there.
Right. You must be talking about Travion Simon Juice, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll start with him. It's amazing. I just talked to him. He just walked out, and we played the whole game. And the way the game went, Juice had 1 touch tonight, and he's a dynamic player, but it's just the way the game played. You know, really good kid. You know, and then the offensive line mashed them, Coach. I mean, they played outstanding and really dominated up front. Scotlandville ran 2 plays in the first half.
Wow.
That's pretty good defense. I mean, you know, they ran 2 plays, and we punted back and forth, you know, in the second half. And, you know, we're dressing 38 tonight. We still got some, you know, we're trying to register. And we took our linebacker, Jeremiah Coleman, on the last drive and put him at tailback. And he had busted 2 or 3 really good runs. So, yeah, I mean, hats off to that O-line. A lot happened for us to be able to beat those guys. But and I got to say, I mean, they, you know, they're well coached. They're a great organization over there, a great community. But it wasn't a fluke. You know, nothing weird happened tonight for us to win. We won.
What was it like after to address that? I can just imagine how, even though it's a jam, but the whole dynamic of everything that's taken place, it just had to be an awesome feeling for you because of what it meant to those kids.
Oh, God. Well, one, they're not used to it, right?
Right.
So, no, you can't run up in the stands and hug your mama. I mean, you know, you got to shake hands and you got to get to the end zone. But I was so happy for them. Just total elation. You know, for a bunch of kids, I'm going to tell you, materialistically, I've never coached a team where kids had this least, you know, this little. And for them to win, to experience that, I mean, I had tears in my eyes, you know, just what it meant to them.
Coach, what kind of staff were you able to put together?
Man, I got a great group of guys. I really do. They came from all over, as you know. And I can mention them if you want me to throw names.
Yeah, give me some names.
Yeah, our defensive coordinator is Chris Bland. Chris was at U High last year and formerly Madison Prep. Sean Brown, who played for me at Central and went on to play at McNeese. Mackie Williams, who was at Walker High School last year. Justin Kelly, Redemptress Wolf for a while. And,
okay, yeah.
You know,
he's going to be a good one. He's going to be a good
my
one.
linebacker coach. Lewis Covington, who played for me at Central and went on to star at Ole Miss as a DB, is our DB guy. On offense, Storm Reeves, who I hired him at Central from Springfield the year before, and he came on with me. The legend, Carl Dijon.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that guy's huge to put him with those big guys, you know, up front. Justin Beckwith, that's the younger brother of the Beckwith, you know, who played at LSU. Right. He helps me with our young kids. Micah Schaefer, who is a graduate of Istrouma. John Kennedy, who is years ago we were together at Central Middle, and he joined the staff. Trey Hills, who played quarterback for Zachary for Neil Weiner some years ago, and Trey is our wide receiver coach. Yeah, I talked about Chris. I'm sorry, my guys.
Chris is making sure you talked about Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, look, Coach, I know you want to go enjoy this one with your coaching staff and the boys that are still hanging around there. But when we saw that, I said, man, we have to get him on here tonight. I said, that's a huge win. Even though it don't show up in the win-loss records or it won't make any major headlines or anything like that, it's really huge for your program.
I told the guys, and, you know, emotions right after a game like that, it is one of the, I think, top 3 or 4 wins in my career.
I believe
because of what it means. You know, hey, y'all might not have me on again. I don't know what we could do from here on out, but I'm on tonight, fellas. I appreciate it.
Oh, we're gonna have you on. We're gonna have you bring one of them boys up to walk-ons one night also.
Oh, they'd love that.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
There you go. It's Istrouma head football coach Sid Edwards, and as you mentioned, a huge win for that team, for that community, for that school, and for him and the coaches trying to put this together. Now, something we're going to feature throughout the season is probably fitting for this game, I think, and talking about our friends over at TDP, Coach Black.
Absolutely. And, you know, baseball, you talk about adversity a lot, but athletics in general, it's teams that can overcome adversity. And, you know, leaders are easy to find when things are going great, but when things aren't going well and those leaders emerge, and Total Diamond Performance supports that. They have a high school fall program, September 25th through October 20th. Phase 1 is 4 weeks. It's hitting and bat speed along with a throwing program. Phase 2 starts on October 23rd. It runs 4 weeks through November 19th. That's Matt at tdbaseball.com, Matt at TDPbaseball.com. I'm sorry, Matt at TDPbaseball.com. They have youth pitching classes, baseball running classes. Brock played with them for the Louisiana Mariners last year. He's improved. He's just hoping to grow pretty soon.
The teenager.
Yeah.
The teenager,
Brock. He's 14,
Ooh.
and he wears a size 11.5, and he's about 5'5" right now.
Well,
He'll be
it's this shows there's a line in there talking about making the bus ride home better since 2011. Boy, that's some interesting times of some naps taken outside the studio. Now he wouldn't fit in one of those chairs at all. But yeah, congratulations again to Coach Sid Edwards. That is fantastic. Glad to have a chance to talk with him this evening. We'll get back more scores from the Baton Rouge area coming up next. This is the Jamboree edition of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with
Back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
One more segment to go in hour one of tonight's show. We'll get you caught up right now with scores from the capital city. Our Parkview Baptist Eagle has them for you.
The Capital City Scoreboard. Presented by Lake Urgent Care.
Winner over Livonia. Episcopal 15-14 over Catholic Point Capee. Ascension Catholic 18, St. Michael 16. Plaquemine a 20-14 winner over Port Allen. Ascension Episcopal 29, Thrive 0. Dutchtown 20, East Ascension 7. Ascension Christian 18, Central Private 8. Parkview a 29-13 winner over Franklinton. Southern Lab 6, Amite 0. Kentwood a 20-8 winner over St. Helena. White Castle 8, Donaldsonville 6. Walker shuts out Denham Springs 16-0. Central Blake's Bruley 10-0. Destrehan defeats Lutcher 7-0. Uhi a 42-21 winner over Dunham. Santa Maria 35, Assumption 0. Catholic of Baton Rouge 7, Madison Prep 6. Broadmoor 8, Northeast 0. Terra over Glen Oaks 14-8. McKinley shuts out Liberty 12-0. Istrouma with an 8-0 winner over Scotlandville. And Zachary, 21, West Feliciana, 12.
All right, thank you, Skip. Couple of scores from the Acadiana area. Brobridge defeats Como 21-6. Karen Crow over Notre Dame 15-7. Acadiana falls to St. Thomas More 17-7 tonight, or at least in Jamboree action. I didn't have that listed. It was last night.
Yeah, those games were played last night. Karen Crow is going to be for real again. They were young, last year. Well, they lost their offensive line and defensive line, but they have a kid named Chance Babineau, who was a freshman last year. They moved him to quarterback. He's phenomenal. STM was down 7-0 to Acadiana. Their quarterback goes out on the first play of the game, Sam Altman, who was a returning starter from last year for STM. They go down 7-0. What do? They roll two more out there, and they come back and win 17-7.
Ruston wins 14-0 over West Monroe.
That is the was it part of the Bayou Jam, they call it?
Bayou Jam.
Mm-hmm. So lots more scores we'll get to, and we'll speak with a couple of good coaches as well.
No bad ones?
No bad ones. We'll be right back.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Hour 2 tonight of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. The Jamboree edition. We are so happy to have you listening or watching tonight. If you're watching on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, you can drop a comment there and let us know what you think, or a question or a score you're looking for tonight. Looking around some scores that we've been kind of focusing tonight on the local Baton Rouge area scores, but I've seen a couple of North Louisiana scores pop up, and I wanted to make mention of them. Some close scores in a Jamboree, and I just had it. So Lafayette over Northside, 19-18, and then St. Martinville over Southside, 21-20, out in the Acadiana area. Let's go ahead and jump on the hotline now, and I believe we have head coach of Walker, Coach Chad Mahaffey, joining us. Coach, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Hey, Bo. Coach.
Hello.
Hey, Coach. What's going on, man?
I'm good, man. How are y'all?
Doing great. What were your expectations tonight? And I know that it's what the score was, but sometimes we don't let the result speak for itself. But I'm pretty sure that you were pleased with what you saw tonight.
Yeah, I thought it was a really, really good all-around performance. Got off with a great drive out the gate. I think it was 16 plays and scored. And, the Jamboree is quick, so that ate up a lot of time, which was nice. And just a good confidence boost for the offense. And I think also it helps out the defense, just kind of keeps them off the field, gets them a little life. Defense pitched a shutout. I thought played great, and we had some good special teams coverage out there as well at times. So I'm really pleased with all three phases.
You mentioned your defense, Chad, throwing a shutout. You returned all four starters up front. Talk about those guys.
Yeah, we're still not a real big defense, but I think we've got experience in the front, experience in the back, and we've got pretty good speed. I think the guys up front are real disruptive. Dante Flowers is really active, got great hands. Kentrell Scott, who was a little banged up tonight, but he's been a good force down there. And Evan King's another guy that plays really tough and is a good athlete. And so got a few other guys we can rotate in there and develop with them. So I feel good about that group.
Talk about Troy Slive, junior quarterback. He took over midway, I guess, week 6 or so last year, somewhere in that area.
It was really like week 8.
Okay.
It's Troy Sills. But yeah, Troy's a great kid. He's one of our best just character kids, and love the way he just comes to work every day, and he's really talented. I think he's got a great arm. He's a good athlete, basketball kid, can run, do a lot of things. But he got thrown in last year as a kind of trying to spark our offense a little bit. He'd really been working a lot more as a reserve wide receiver, and it was kind of like, here you go, man, we're throwing you in there, and he did a really good job. And he's had pretty much all the 1 reps this off season, so he's much more prepared and excited about what he brings to the table.
Talk about C.J. McClendon a little bit too. He's your running back, a 3-year starter for you.
Yeah, C.J. is a big workhorse. He's just about 215-pound kid that's got good speed. He's one of our strongest kids, and he's just super physical, super durable. And I think he knows the offense really well. He's just, like I say, a 3-year starter. He kind of execute everything kind of like the coach on the field, and I'm really pleased to see when he does good things without the ball in his hands. You know, he's a great lead blocker, good and pass pro, and he's taking pride in that. And he had a good night tonight, ran some tough hard yards, and that was big for us.
But you said a lead blocker. You got more than one person in the backfield other than your quarterback?
Well, we experimenting with a little wishbone set.
It's good to hear that you got a lead blocker. Most people don't. You say that at my practice, they're like, what's a lead blocker?
Yeah. What's a fullback?
A fullback. Coach, if I remember correctly, in y'all's playoff appearance last year, y'all were nip and tuck right towards the end. Is that correct?
Oh, they lost on a field goal the last play or something.
That momentum, do you feel like that's carried over a little bit?
Man, I'll try and block out that game. I don't want to think
I'm
about
sorry,
it.
man.
No, I mean it was a great game to watch. I'm sure it was back and forth. I mean, we had a lot of opportunities early to maybe get a lead, and we kind of started out rough, came back, fought, and then we took a lead, gave up a drive late, and got a chance back down there, and missed a field goal at the end. So I mean, just a million chances, but I think we just needed to get back in the playoffs, and obviously, man, we feel like we could have gone a little further, but it was good to get back in there, and I think that's what we're striving for here. We got to be a consistent team to get in the playoffs, and now win when you get there.
Our guest is Walker head football coach Chad Mahaffey here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. Coach, something that every team has had to fight before school started, when most of them were either in camp or some kind of practice, and since school has started, is the heat. How has that affected your routine, your practice? It seems like every year we've either got a hurricane or some rain to talk about. Now we're talking about this extreme heat and how it's affected the routine of getting ready, of preparing teams, of preparing the team for playing long, extended drives, et cetera, games. What have you all done to combat that?
Yeah, I never thought I'd wish for the heavy rains and hurricane threats to come back. That was much easier to deal with, things like, than some of this stuff. Yeah, there's nowhere around it really. A lot of time inside. And you can just feel it. When you get out there, even when you modify some things, helmets off or pads off, and trying to be smart with it. But it's tough on these guys right now, and so it's just been a lot of inside time. We've planned around it when we could or gone earlier, but with school starting, there's just not a lot of flexibility for us there. So, like everybody, I'm sure we don't feel like we're getting as much time out there as you'd like, but it's just what we got to do, and hopefully we get a break here pretty soon.
Chad, with that being said about how much you're inside, how did that affect your conditioning tonight? Or do you see it being a problem when you go to a 4-quarter game next week, or do you like where you are?
Well, I mean, I feel like our guys pretty good shape, and from what we did in the summer, but also just try and have pretty up-tempo practice. But yeah, I mean, there's no doubt you aren't going inside for 15 minutes to cool off tonight. You're out there, even when a game's different because you're not just constantly training, but you're just out there in that heat. So it's a challenge. I don't know that we're not conditioned because of it. I just think it's an accumulation of time in this heat, and I just think it's going to be a struggle for all these kids until we get a little relief. And I remember when we were at U-High and talking with Jack Marucci over there, and we were fortunate to get into the indoor maybe once a week, and just him talking about it, I was like, man, it's just the cumulative effects of those kids being in there, man, and get them in there and get them in the cool when you can. And that was obviously a luxury there we don't have here, but we're trying to save them as best we can for the games.
I hadn't looked at so many 10-day forecasts in all my life. And so many times it's hundreds, but next week it's going to be like 92 one day or 93. I mean,
if you want
to get those sweatshirts out.
That's right.
If you want it to rain, I'll go wash my truck tomorrow. I mean, we can make that happen.
No doubt.
All right, Cole, who you have next week? West Side?
West Side. No, we scheduled smarter than that. Those guys are juggernaut. But Well, we say that. We scared the Ponchatoula. So, Coach is in second year there, and they've looked really good. A little bit of film we saw, and played a tough Rummel team in the scrimmage, and I don't know how it went for them tonight, but there'll be a challenge. You got to go on the road and hopefully get off to a good start.
We lost 22-0. Coach Josh, Chad was my assistant head coach before he went to the College World Series. When he came back, he gunned me. He said he was better than that.
I tell you, Coach Josh was
what have you done for me lately, man?
he was a celebrity at the College World Series. I can tell you.
I did see him on the Twitter feed a little bit. So a well-known man.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, look, congratulations. Congratulations, man. It's a great win for you guys tonight, and good luck next week with Ponchatoula.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Have a good one.
As head coach Chad Mahaffey from over there at Walker, some other scores. St. Charles Catholic, 22, Ponchatoula, nothing, as Coach just mentioned. Look, we always talk about that team, and I remember the conversations with Coach Monica, who always downplay everything. But
they're talking about them being down. They're talking about them being down this year. They're not going to be down. They are so well coached.
Look, Cade, I have a conversation. I told Jimmy about this, and it was raining one day while we were at the Manning camp, and it was him, myself,
That's a beautiful
and the guy
campus,
from Chalmette, and he started talking about Smash and the pass game, and I started recording, and it's just priceless. I mean, he's just phenomenal.
And Todd sends me about a 15-second clip of it or something. He says, "Who is this?" I said, "It's Coach Monica." There's no ifs, ands, or but about it.
It was awesome.
Oh, man. Looking elsewhere. Did we get this one?
Look,
Catholic High over Madison Prep, 7-6.
7-6, yeah.
Yep.
Look, a couple last night real quick. Episcopal defeated Catholic High Point Capee. Catholic High Point Capee went up 14-0 in the second half. They lost their quarterback with an ankle injury. Episcopal were able to come back and go for two on their last touchdown to get the win. Parkview Baptist, a 29-13 winner over Franklinton. I think Coach Salta Formaggio was relieved. Yeah. At Holy Cross last year, went to Franklin taking over that program, but Parkview jumps off right off the bat. They score in 5 plays. Then they force a fumble on the ensuing kickoff. They score again, right, make it 15-0. We mentioned Dutchtown. One that Coach Black up there, Neville, defeats Sterlington 21-14, and from what I understand was just a phenomenal, hard-played, hard-fought game. Both teams were missing some of their star players due to injury. Sterlington played without their quarterback Dylan Downs, and Neville played without their wide receiver Caleb Vaughn. And it's also one of the better return guys in the state. I think he had 4 or 5 touchdowns last year in the return game. And Breland Robinson, both teams scored on their first 2 possessions, 14-14 at half. Neville scored their first possession in the second half and went on to win 21-14. Sterlington did have a shot late in the game or on the last play through from like the 35-yard line in the end zone, fell incomplete.
Neville was young last year.
Right.
And I think they have a lot. I think they got 19 returning starters maybe or something in that area.
I haven't studied them yet, but I know the star stood out again last night. Jay Nicholas plays a little bit of running back slot, had a long 30-something yard touchdown, or not a touchdown, but to set up a touchdown, then had an 81-yard screenplay. A guy's name that we've been mentioning for a couple of years, Tremel Colvin from Sterlington, also had a 39-yard touchdown run. So a heck of a game. You go over to Captain Shreve Bird, they'll play later on in the season. Captain Shreve defeats Bird 23-21 on a John Chance 47-yard field goal as time expires. I've seen more 40-yard field goal attempts. There are kickers that are kicking that far.
Jess Curtis made his debut at Natchitoches Central. They won 14-0. He was the coach at Manny and came over to Natchitoches Central.
Yep. Lafayette Christian steamrolled last night, played Lake Charles College Prep 21-7. LCA went up 21-0 in the first half and scored on their first 3 possessions. And from what I understand, they subbed freely in the second half. Mentioned in field goals, Barb defeats DeRitter 15-14. DeRitter missed a 45-yard field goal as time expired.
But even the idea that you're going to Well, that's what other opportunity to go for than a scrimmage. Get your guy out there and let him kick.
There's 2 kickers up in
northwest
in Shreveport area. One's committed to, I think, Miami, and one is committed to LSU.
I think one of them's at Airline. I might be wrong. He's not. Is he at Airline? I will get to it in a second. Or Halton.
That's
no. Parkway and Parkway and Bird, I think it is.
Either way,
Parkway
that's some
and Bird.
impressive numbers.
Yeah, North Shore defeated Jesuit 7-0 last night. The only score came on a blocked field goal that was returned for 68-yard touchdown. Both offenses struggled. Neither team got in the red zone the entire game. They combined for only 200 yards of offense. And then news comes out that North Shore's two-sport athlete Cohen Robotham has transferred to St. Thomas Aquinas. He was their running back last year at North Shore. He's an all-state basketball player for 2 years in a row at North Shore. Now he has transferred to St. Thomas.
So that just happened? I saw it. But
I think he did it in the summer. I think it was just released now.
It's kind of odd because normally I saw the article, but normally there's not an article about a kid who transfers.
Yeah, he is a heck of a basketball player.
We'll take a time out. We'll get some Baton Rouge scores updated for you here in 4 minutes. This is Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. all of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of Front to Back Boat Service.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event.
Prep football from West Monroe to West Side. Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Big voice guy reminds me, do we have a West Side Jamboree score? But they don't play on Jamboree week.
No, they did play.
Maybe they have a week 0.
I have not got the update. The score.
It was 62-1.
Well, we'll get an update very soon. Right now, we'll get you caught up on what happened tonight and last night. Jamboree action here in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard. Presented by Lake Urgent Care.
Albany a 19-6 winner over Livonia. Episcopal 15, Catholic Point P 14. Ascension Catholic defeats St. Michael 18-16. Plaquemine a 20-14 winner over Port Allen. Ascension Episcopal 29, Thrive 0. Dutchtown a 20-7 winner over East Ascension. Ascension Christian 18, Central Private 8. Parkview 29, Franklinton 13. Southern Lab a 6-0 winner over Amite. Kentwood 20, St. Helena 8. White Castle 8-6 winner over Donaldsonville. Walker shuts out Denham Springs 16-0. Central blanks Bruley 10-0. Destrehan touchdown better than Lutcher 7-0. U-High 42, Dunham 21. Sandoval blanks Assumption 35-0. Catholic of Baton Rouge 7, Madison Prep 6. Broadmoor 8-0 over Northeast. Tara defeats Glen Oaks 14-8. McKinley 12, Liberty 0. Istrouma defeats Scotlandville 8-0. And Zachary 21, West Feliciana 12.
Adam Skip Cotrere getting our scores tonight. And Broadmoor, as you mentioned, 8-0 over Northeast. But I'm hearing reports that that was not as close as maybe, or closer than what people anticipated. We'll find out via our friends over at The Advocate. Excellent quote. Brother Martin over John Ehret tonight, 10-6. Brother Martin, part of that Catholic district, Catholic League down there that has so many excellent football teams in the greater New Orleans area, and look forward to following them throughout the year. And as we mentioned earlier, it was a 19-18 win for Lafayette over Northside, a 21-20 win for St. Martinville over Southside. Mandeville 28, Pearl River 6, Fontainebleau 28, Bonneville 6, and Glenbrook 21-0 over Lincoln Prep. So other scores from tonight. And
the quote you were looking for, coming into the game, we felt like we were better than Northeast. We should have blown them out of the water, Broadmoor coach Yasin Sarah said. We left 21 points on the board in the first half. We should have 14 points in the second half.
Good for Broadmoor.
Yep.
I mean, you know, you sit there and people talk about rivalries in schools from back when. I had a guy call me yesterday, talked to him for about an hour out of Florida. And we were talking about some of that. People don't understand how big of a rivalry that Broadmoor and Tara were.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go Glen Oaks, Bel Air, some of those schools like that, they were all right there. And some really good ball games back in the day. I wish they could get it back. You know, Rusty Price.
School board is as bad as they are.
They never will. That's right. Rusty Price, you know, was one of them that at Broadmoor has some unbelievable teams, and people just don't realize it's been a long time ago.
I mean, neighborhoods that are close to each other, kids that probably live down the street from each other, and those things, those rivalries are built, and you wish they were the same.
Hutch Gonzalez.
Trying to get Hutch Gonzalez. Ryan just sent you another number to call. See if Thomas Bachman up in Alexandria can reach out to him, see what he's got going on this year.
You know, there are a couple rule changes this year. One of them, so they experimented 2 years ago with the intentional grounding outside the pocket, and they've come back to it. Now you can get rid of the ball, and once you're outside of the pocket, then the other one is a defenseless receiver. A receiver, before you can hit him, the receiver has got to catch it and make a move before you can hit him. And I just think the officials have such a difficult time making those judgment calls. And when it goes so fast, I just think it makes it more tough. Each association is different, Cade, and mark my words that it's going to end up costing somebody in the playoffs because they've been doing it all year and it never was called.
And it's not like the NFL where you can go to a replay booth and get a little second chance. You're acting on what you see, and you got to make your best judgment. And that's always. Wasn't there something where in the Superdome they elected one time to use a replay system?
No, they
you
do
had
use
it.
it.
You have it now.
Okay. But you're always going to have that second guess in a game that really matters, and somebody's going to be not too happy, and it may cost someone some work. So
we're fixing that. Yeah, Thomas Bachman is supposed to be answering in just a second.
There's some teams with some brutal schedules. Ruston's one of them. East Ascension's another one. Zachary's one of them. Rummel.
Curtis has a Rummel. Washita. A bunch of those teams have tough schedules.
All right, let's go ahead and jump back on the hotline, and we are now joined by Alexandria Senior High School head football coach Thomas Bachman. Coach Bachman, thanks so much for joining us here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for having me.
The record setter, Coach Bachman.
What did he say?
What record? Come on now.
Now he holds the state record.
Now, I think it's tied now by about 13 people.
You still hold it though, Coach.
What, you ran a 9,400?
Most catches in the 5A state championship.
Oh. Well, what are we now? Technically, it might hold forever.
Yes.
If we keep doing all this. I don't know what are we doing now.
Nobody knows.
You just have to wait till week 10. Figure it out.
But we're gonna play football on Friday nights, and that's all I do know. We're gonna play football on Friday night.
How'd
it ends up being? Go ahead.
How'd y'all do tonight?
I did fine. We jamboreed. It's a long night. We do a freshman JV and varsity jamboree with Pinedale. It's a long night for sure, but kids did well, played hard. I guess good start. But we'll ultimately find out here in next week when we play Karen Crow.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
Coach, they had good showing. Did you go? You didn't probably go down and see them play Notre Dame, did you?
I did not. No,
Yep.
I got my hands full right here.
That's true.
Coach, you got a quarterback battle going on up there. Have you decided what you're going to do up with that, or how are both of them? How are they doing?
We started Ty Feaster tonight and played Marion Mingo at quarterback tonight also. So, we'll keep rolling with those two. And we had some other ones that were competing, but it'll be Ty, and Mingo is a great change of pace. I'd like to call him people would say wildcat, but the kid can really throw the football too. So I wouldn't say that he's a wildcat guy. We'll just keep playing the guy that takes us down the field.
There you go. Well, one of the good things about it is you return your whole offensive line.
Yes, we do, and they're growing up. They're getting better. I think they're improving. We really return a lot, on offense. We graduated the tailback, the quarterback, and the tight end, last year, and pretty much everybody else is back. And obviously quarterback and tailback's a huge part of it, tight end too, for the things that we do. But a lot returning, and we'll see what we can do this year. Certainly not any week that you can overlook anybody.
Coach, Jimmy and I have had this conversation, and it's not a right or wrong answer. I'm just interested in your philosophy with having two quarterbacks, it's a luxury, but can it sometimes make you as a coach want to just pull your hair out because you're trying to get enough reps for each one of them? And then you think, it's just kind of a tough situation sometimes. And I was just kind of interested in your philosophy on it.
No, it can be tough. I mean, it's not something that, it's not something that I've ever really messed with, but you're right. I mean, it's getting them reps, and, you get better by playing. You get better by doing reps. So, when you're splitting a lot of reps, it's hard to make a whole lot of progress and get in sync. So it's something that we're feeling our way through as we do it. Of course, eventually decisions will be made, and we'll go from there.
Coach, tell us.
Ty's going to be just fine. Ty had a great night tonight. Ty's going to be fine. Mingo, obviously, is a receiver for us too. So
Ty has a lot of experience also.
Has a lot of experience. Grew up in a football household. Brings a lot to the table with football IQ, his ability to create with his feet. Ran around tonight, did some good things. I think he kept the ball and had him a 35, 40-yard touchdown run tonight. So,
his biggest adjustment, in my opinion, will be going from a 1A school to a 5A school. And,
Yeah, no doubt.
That's going to be his
but,
biggest.
but he's grown up in it,
Right.
He's grown up in it. And he's a competitor. He's a competitor. That's the biggest thing that you notice about him is it doesn't matter what you're doing, he's competing, pull-ups in the weight room, 400s on the track. The kid's a competitor. And, in that regard, you want that type stuff bleeding in. The moment's never too big. He's not afraid of big moments. And just that competitive streak. It doesn't matter what it is. He's trying to win, and winning is important to him. So
you ought to get out there and run some routes up for him and see how many he can complete to you.
Oof, it would not be fun. I would probably pull both hamstrings and calves, and I wouldn't be able to walk for a week. That's the thought of doing that right now. That does not sound appealing to me at all.
Do as you say, not as you do now, huh?
Amen. That's right. I can tell you, I cannot show you how to do it anymore. I can tell you how to do it.
That's right. Coach, tell us about Aiden Walker.
Aiden Walker is one of the finest leaders we've ever had. We've had some great ones. I've been very fortunate of the kids that I've been able to coach everywhere I've been, but here at Ash, we've just had some great kids. And Aiden Walker is as good a leader, loves football. He's put on a lot of weight. I say put on a lot of weight. He's grown. He was probably in the 215, 216, something like that. Most of them, boy, he's up in the low 240s right now. He's worked his tail off, and he loves it. I just don't know how you, from workout to the things that go on in the locker room, just he's ate up with it. You can just see him proving he's down on the defensive front now. And, I just love the kid. I really do. I'm really, really proud of what he's turned himself into through a lot of work. Came in here as a quarterback, as a freshman, and we've moved him a couple different spots. Played linebacker last year, and now he's all the way on the defensive front this year, and great leader for us.
He might be your Wildcat guy.
But look, don't tell him. He'll probably. If he hears this, he'll be in here tomorrow telling me, I got it, Coach. All right.
It's good to have leaders that are I prefer leaders by action opposed to verbal, just because
absolutely
that action is just can't be mistaken, whereas verbal sometimes is I heard Joe Burrow, they had an interview with him, and he said, sometimes quarterbacks think they have to say something, and you don't really have to say something all the time, just when you really need to. And I think some people –
those actions speak as loud as you need them to speak.
That's right.
What you do every day, your consistency, when you don't, when it's not your day or you're still competing, and 100% your actions speak louder than your words. And Aiden certainly fits that mold. Now, he is a vocal leader for us, but, he also is, when it comes to work ethic and accountability and just, commitment to the team, and he does all those things. He's great. Love the kid.
My wife keeps saying she wants to go mow the yard, but she never does. And I tell her, actions speak louder than words, and she slaps
there
me.
you go.
Yeah, okay.
That's awesome.
Coach, who do you open up with next week?
Karen Crow.
It is Karen Crow week 1? Okay.
Yep. And then we had to, we should be done installing the turf by week 3. We had to move the St. Thomas More game back down to Lafayette. So we'll be, back down in Lafayette before we get our home opener, hopefully in week 3.
Well, when you need that turf cleaned, we got somebody for you to call, Louisiana Turf Cleaning. He'll take care of you, brother.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to those phone calls. I'm ready to get this turf down.
All right, Coach. Thank you, man. Appreciate you taking up a little bit of time.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all very much.
All right.
Always a great conversation with Coach Thomas Bachman.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Fun to be around.
I have to say, over the years, I'm kind of proud of Ryan. He's kind of matured. Like, look, he's got his hair fixed today and actually took a shower maybe. and see, he's and look, he's got it.
And he's on time.
Yeah, he was at least 30 minutes earlier than normal today.
Is he in love?
I don't know.
Oh, wow. That's a good question.
I don't know.
It's my 11th year doing this.
I
That's
know.
right.
Thank goodness you took over for the grump.
That's a fact.
It's can't lie about that one.
Get your mom off the phone. We gotta go home.
All right, let's take a time out. We'll be right back. This is Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
We're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 30
Coach Brett Beard from Denham Springs High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Thank you, Coach Beard. Louisiana Prep Scoreboard here. It's presented by Lake Urgent Care. For those minor aches and illnesses, and we're also teamed up with our friends at Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. We'll be looking forward to some conversations with the doctors in the preview show. And I'm sure one of the conversations will be surrounded by dealing with the heat.
And also Wednesday and next Friday, week 1, we will also have our State Farm Student Athlete of the Week.
Speaking of which, Casey, do you have that cool graphic? We can thank our State Farm representatives who are once again part of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, Louisiana Prep Weekly family. And as Jimmy mentioned, Louisiana Prep Weekly is back on Wednesday nights at 6. So Wednesday nights at 6 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Yeah, there's our guys. The 4 members of the State Farm.
The 4 horsemen?
Yeah, of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
That's right.
So we appreciate their support. Let's go ahead and get you caught up on what happened tonight in the capital city. Tonight and last night, Jamboree action in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care.
Albany over Livonia, 19-6. Episcopal defeats Catholic Point Capee, 15-14. Ascension Catholic, 18. St. Michael, 16. Plaquemine, 20-14 winner over Port Allen. Ascension Episcopal, 29. Thrive Academy, 0. Dutchtown, a 20-7 winner over East Ascension. Ascension Christian, 18. Central Private, 8. Parkview, a 29-13 winner over Franklinton. Southern Lab defeats Amite 6-0. Kentwood over St. Helena 20-8. White Castle 8, Donaldsonville 6. Walker 16, Denham Springs 0. Central shuts out Bruley 10-0. Destrehan 7, Lutcher 0. U-High a 42-21 winner over Dunham. Sandoval 35, Assumption 0. Catholic Baton Rouge 7, Madison Prep 6. Broadmoor 8-0 winner over Northeast. Tara defeats Glen Oaks 14-8. McKinley blanks Liberty 12-0. Istrouma 8-0 winner over Scotlandville. And Zachary 21. West Feliciana 12.
That score continues to be the one that stands out the most. Thank you, Skip, by the way. That Istrouma over Scotlandville, and we know that it's Jamboree. We know everything goes back to 0-0 heading into week 1, but that is such a huge start to the Sid Edwards Istrouma venture and journey for those young men, for that team, for the coaching staff, for everyone supporting that group of young men. I think that's, as he put it, a top 3 victory for his career.
If I'm not mistaken, Sid is, I think, 12 wins away from reaching 200. JT Curtis is, 6 or 7 from becoming the all-time winningest high school coach in the history. David Semino took over for Coach Sid at Central. This is his first year. They get a win tonight over Bruley. I do not know how that game really played out. I know it was low scoring.
Politics.
They had a field goal and a touchdown. I think they scored a touchdown the first play of the second half. Another interesting to me was West Feliciana and Zachary. 21-12, Zachary wins. And the reason it was interesting to me if we look on the Zachary side, they lost 3 defensive linemen to major colleges. They lost Kyron Jackson, the safety to LSU. They lost quarterback Eli Holstein to Alabama. And the first time in several years, they've actually had to have a quarterback battle. The last quarterback battle was Keelan Brown and Alex Milazzo. They moved Alex to a strong safety, and then he ended up playing with some Team USA stuff in baseball and just gave up football after his sophomore year, I believe it was, and it's worked out really well for him, being a national champ now with LSU's baseball. But, you know, you go back, Lindsey Scott was there forever. Keelan Brown was there forever, and then you had Holstein for 3 years. It's just been one quarterback after another, so it's really the first time in 11 years. And you got Hudson Spangler, he's a senior, Caleb Gonzalez, he's a junior, battling it out for that spot. And I talked to Coach Brewerton today, and they really hadn't decided how they were going to do it tonight, but he said both will play. Neither one had separated themselves in the spring or the summer or the fall. He didn't know if they were going to go every other series or one half each, so I don't really know. But that's what's interesting to me about Zachary.
Cage mentioned the Ruston score, 14-0 over West Monroe, and you just talked about the USA tryout baseball. Hayden Federico, who is their quarterback at West Monroe, was at those tryouts, so that's something to keep in mind as well.
The roster was just released today, I think, and they narrowed it down. They only take 20. And he made it to the final cut, but I do not think he made the final roster. So that's a situation that Coach Garvin was having to deal with in his first year that makes it really, really tough. He's there, and then he's gone for 2 or 3 weeks, and he's gone. Had he made it, they probably wouldn't have got him back till about week 4 or 5. But as a baseball guy, I mean, if you get a chance to play for Team USA, you go play.
Yeah.
And look, hats off to Coach Garvin for dealing with this in his first year, because it's not easy on him. It's not easy. It's not easy on Hayden Federico. It's not easy on the coaching staff. It's not easy on the players. But hats off to people willing to deal with elite two-sport guys. You take Trey Green. He's another one. He's not playing for Team USA, but he's the big transfer from East Feliciana to Zachary, 6'7", 250. Stud basketball players committed to LSU in 2 sports. Tells you how good of an athlete he is. You got to work with those kids.
You really do. I mean,
we've always talked about encouraging kids to play multiple sports.
Yes.
And if you could excel at one and have an opportunity to do something special like that, why would you hold someone back?
The tough part of this is they all feel like they have to go year-round. I mean, like football used to end in December. Now it starts back up in January with 7-on-7, and then it continues until whenever. Basketball does the same, and baseball does the same. And it's just it's all for money. I mean, most of it's just money dumps.
Absolutely.
And, it does nothing to get you better, but people insist on continuing to do it. Until they stop, they're going to keep doing it.
Well, there's money involved.
Yeah, hey, you want to do a flag football league?
They had a perfect game, collected over $1.3 million in entry fees for their tournament.
You showed me that text.
In
that
one
was
in
crazy.
one tournament.
One tournament?
One tournament. $1.3 million in entry fees.
Wasn't it like a $1,500 entry fee, and there's 400 teams or something? It was crazy. Jimmy sent that to me. I was just like, you got to be kidding.
How many rack of ribs can you put in your freezer for that?
Ooh, bunch. I'm going to see if I had that picture. I will find it.
That is incredible off of one term. But we'll take a timeout. We'll be right back. Helmet stickers coming up as we wrap up this Jamboree edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come on, in Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down the
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-7.
The bus ride back home better since 2011. Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And before we get out of here, let's go ahead for the first time this season and honor some highlighted top performers with our helmet stickers.
Highlighting tonight's top performers. This is Helmet Stickers on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
I guess I'll start things off and I'll say, hey, thanks to all the coaches that took some time to come on today. Andy Martin, Sid Edwards, Chad Mahaffey, Thomas Bachman.
That's lame. You thank them anyway. You got to come up with something better than that.
Istrouma High School.
All right.
I'll put one out for the team. Don't know highlight performers, but an 8-0 victory over Scotlandville is pretty awesome for that group. And we'll see. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. But for Coach Edwards, congratulations.
I think that's probably all of ours tonight.
Yeah.
But
that's why I was going with the coaches, because I feel like
yeah, well, I mean,
universal.
Yeah, this goes to Istrouma High School with me also. But another guy I want to point out in a loss was Elijah Haven. I thought for a 9th grade kid to go against what's going to end up being one of the better football teams in the state, regardless of classification, in U High, to be thrown to that defense in your very first start as a freshman, I thought he responded really well.
So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go with the athletic trainers around the state because of the heat and how well they're doing to keep up with all their football players and coaches and so forth. And it, starts with Coach Arsenault over at Santa Ma, but you got Laney Litchfield and Randy Gonzalez, Josh over at Dutchtown, and they really do a good job, as well as Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
And look, they have their hands full of keeping Coach Black hydrated down there when he's coaching.
You don't even know.
Hey, join us on Wednesday night. We're going to be live from a walk-ons here in town
with
Istrouma. Coach Sid Edwards will be at walk-ons at Town Center. Hopefully he will be bringing a student athlete. We just can't get over the job that he did, and we want to honor those guys.
Do you think they'll get soup with their chicken wings?
Soup and chicken wings is going to be a reoccurring theme this whole season.
And don't punt.
No, do not. Do not. You're wasting your time.
Blowing them out the water.
We look forward to a conversation with Coach Edwards. So Louisiana Prep Weekly is Wednesday night, and will be Wednesday nights this entire season from 6 to 7. And then we'll be back on air next Friday. Louisiana Prep Preview presented by Brock once again at 6. Catholic High football to follow, and then a full 2 hours of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard presented by our friends over at Lake Urgent Care. So, boy, a full week coming up.
We might have something surprising to talk about with LHSA maybe next Wednesday. I don't know.
Ooh, yeah, interesting.
It starts for real next week. Everybody's 0-0, no matter what happened. And I think you got a lot of good teams playing against each other this week. It's going to be an interesting week.
If you missed anything, it's on demand at 1045ESPN.com and the free ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app. We'll see you next week.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.